everybody! I'm back! Oh, ooh, hold up. Okay, so I'm pretty livid about this topic, and it's not something I've actually talked about in some time because like a lot of shit has happened, but I just thought it'd be really fun to kind of like talk about it again because I'm still freaking feeling it. I'm trying not to cuss, so it's gonna be a little bit rough for me today, but something that happened yesterday, which I'll talk about in just a second, kind of brought me back to this place that I really did not like. It's kind of funny at the same time, just because like you know what your intentions are, and it's just so crazy that someone can literally hate you so much for just assuming what you're doing. So I don't really know how to give you guys a backstory in such a short amount of time, but basically my relationship with my friend that I'm gonna talk about in the story, we're not really friends anymore. You know, some people just outgrow each other and stuff, but we spent years and years and years like having fun together, and we built a really great relationship. He was one of my bestest friends in the whole entire world, so it's not like I'm talking down on him or anything. It's mostly just his ex. I don't really know what the relationship is currently, but yesterday I went to Stater Brothers to grab something for dinner, and so I walked in and there was this couple that was like standing in the entrance, and I just thought it was kind of weird because like I'm trying to go but they're kind of in my way, and I overhear this voice and it's very familiar, and obviously I would know this voice because I had to deal with it for many years. So I looked over and it ended up being the crazy ex, and I'm just like, ooh, like I don't want to run into you. And so I kept walking, but then I realized that I think that was my friend with her. I wasn't really sure, so I literally like turned around and it ended up being him, and so I just kind of like waved. So he waved back at me, but you just see her like literally boiling. This is just what brought up this video, and then I'm gonna get into the whole backstory of me and hers like past. Anyways, I went on kind of with my grocery shopping, so maybe like a few minutes later I decided to see like how she would react, because she never reacts well when I'm around or if she assumes that I'm gonna be around. So I decided to take a little stroll around the grocery store and check every aisle like the crazy bee I am, and they literally vanished. And it's so crazy because they just walked in, like I walked in right after them and their cart was empty. She obviously couldn't stand the look of my fucking face, the look of my freaking face, and so she just left. And it's just so crazy how someone can be so petty even like months, years after like a situation occurs. Now that you guys got the reason why I even am starting this video, I'm gonna take you guys back to my past for the past few years and what I've been through with this chick. So my friend just got a job. This was a few years back. He just got a job, and for his first paycheck he wanted to take all of his best friends out to eat. Me and him planned a night where we would go to Korean barbecue and he was gonna pay, but we were also hanging out prior to that, so we ended up going to the grocery store for like personal reasons. And on the way there, he noticed someone in a car like next to us trying to get his attention. So he rolled down the window and was like talking, and I had no idea who it was because the car is on his driver's side. Me on the passenger side literally peeks my head over, and you just see this face go from literally, her face drops, and I'm just like, ooh, that's your fucking ex. She took it so wrong, but at the same time like she's also his ex, so like do you have a right to take it wrong? And so we end up finishing like what we're doing. We go to the grocery store, we go in, we come back out, and all of a sudden you hear his phone blow up. So he answers the phone, and obviously you know who it is. It's literally the crazy ex. And so I just kind of sit there while he walks out of the car to take the phone call, but he's literally gone for another 20 minutes. So I'm sitting in the car like, what the fuck, like we had plans, we're gonna hang out, like, this was just, we had just planned this and it was supposed to be fun and just something relaxing because we're both working like a lot, and he's been gone for like 20 minutes, it's going 30 minutes, and so he comes back to the car and he's like, I'm really sorry, but And then he tells me that she's actually in another car in the same parking lot. So she actually followed us to like the grocery store, and she's parked somewhere. I'm just like, okay, you know, I really don't want to deal with some crazy bee like following us everywhere. Like, is there anything that I can do to like let her know, like, hey, like, this is not like a date? So we get more calls in the car as he's like explaining to me what's going on, and you literally can hear her like yelling at him, like telling him like he better fucking stop, he better, just all these crazy things. And from my point of view, she's an ex, so she's not his girlfriend. So I was kind of taken aback because as a friend, like, even if this was like your significant other, having them yell at you and trying to dictate your life, I don't think is right. And so I snatched the phone because I was tired of being here for 45 fucking minutes waiting for us to go do what our plan was. So I grabbed the phone and I literally like cussed her out. I was like, he's not a freaking dog. You don't own him. He's not a piece of property that you can just claim as yours. Like, I was just telling her like all this stuff because it's totally true. Like, even if you love that person or you don't love that person, whatever the case may be, like, you should not treat them as your property, and you should not act like you own him or her. So we went to Korean barbecue and she's still blowing up his phone, and so we ended up actually not being there for that long, but that was my first experience dealing with her. So another night was a night where we actually went out drinking, and so he drove his car to like my house and we were gonna like meet up with some other friends to drink. So we went out, we got drunk, and we came back to my house, and he realized he couldn't drive. And so like any of my other friends, they're offered to stay here if they want to stay here. If they can't drive, like, obviously I'm not gonna force them out of the house. So he ended up sleeping on the couch. We were planning on going to the gym like around 7 in the morning, even though it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We still had plans because that's what was gonna fit our day. So we're just like, okay, you know what, like, this is settled to spend the night, and then we're gonna go continue our morning tomorrow. That's totally fine. Anyways, tomorrow we're getting ready to go to the gym, and so we pack up everything, go in my car, and once he charges his phone, you just hear everything blow up. Like, everything blow up, and it's not even from a specific person, it's from a block caller. So what I ended up finding out was that he ended up blocking his ex because his ex was just being too much for him. It was still like 6:30 in the morning, and you hear his phone just keep going from a blocked caller, and he knows exactly who it is. Like, we ended up stopping by the gas station like on the way to the gym. So we're at the gas station and he decides to like answer his phone, and you just hear like screaming. Like, I have no idea what the heck she's saying, but she's just screaming at him. He's just like, you know what, like, I'm not gonna deal with this. I'm on my way to the gym right now. And then she's like, who you going to the gym with? Blah, blah, all this stuff. And he's like, leave me alone. I'm going to the gym. I'm hanging out with Mia. We had plans this morning. I'll call you when I'm done. And so hangs up the phone, and all of a sudden, so we're on, so we're on our way to the freaking gym, right? We have to park in this parking structure. We park, and all of a sudden, like, literally right when I put my car in park and like I stopped the vehicle, you hear this noise coming from outside the car, and it's so loud, like you can hear it through the car. You just hear this girl screaming and running from the background, and I kid you not, like, everyone who was there in the morning was looking back, and I was looking at the cars next to me, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna die right now. And I like literally wanted to beg them for help, but I was like, you know what, like, this is none of my business. And so my friend who's sitting in the passenger seat tells me, go in without me and please don't butt in. And I was like, ugh, okay, because if someone comes at me like that, how do you not butt in? Like, how am I supposed to sit here and not do anything? Because that's just so wrong. That's just so wrong. Like, that's so crazy. Okay, so anyway, so I'm still sitting in the car because I'm like shocked. I'm like, wow, like, you showed up like that. Like, well, I don't know where the heck she was or where she's been. She's probably been on the streets all night, but she just showed the F up, you know? Like, that was hella quick. That was like a 5-minute difference from the phone call from the gas station to like us making it into the parking structure. Like, that's just... Anyways, so I'm sitting in the car in shock, and he gets out of the car and he like meets up with her. Well, she basically runs up to him, like up to my car, and is like screaming at him, and then he's like trying to explain things, and I don't know if I should leave, and I really want to butt in, but he told me not to butt in, but this is just so wrong, and you know, you're one of my best friends, and I don't want you to be treated like this, and she's such a freaking bee, you know. And so anyways, I decide, you know what, like, I'm gonna keep my calm, and I'm gonna go do what I planned to do this morning and go to the gym. So I packed up my stuff. I literally have to walk past them in the middle of their argument to go to the gym. So I'm like, okay, like, I'm just going to mind my own business. And I know kind of the argument may be about me, but he told me to hush. So I'm gonna respect my friend and hush. At this point, I'm just like, you know what? If I can't beat him, then I'll join them. So I actually try to be friends with her after this. I tried to ask her to hang out, and I was just like trying to get her to know me a little bit more so she's not so crazy. I felt like if she knew my intention, that maybe she wouldn't be so crazy, I guess. It made sense to me at the time. Anyway, so I invited her to go eat lunch with me. So we went to go eat lunch down Main Street, and it was great and all until she started accusing me of like hating her. She just didn't want to do what I was hoping to do, and that was like to try to be friends, and she still saw it as a competition, so it just really didn't go anywhere. And even after that, I tried to plan hanging out with her one-on-one. Basically, she picked me up so we can go like chill somewhere, and I guess my friend ended up being free at some point, so she was like, oh, like, let's invite him. And I was like, okay, great, like, I'm gonna third wheel because now this is my friend and his ex, you know, and I'm just trying to be friends with the ex. Anyway, so I'm just like, okay, like, let's all hang out, you know, so that she can see that I'm not trying to do anything. And the whole entire time, she was just like sitting on him, holding his hand, looking at him, still having a conversation with me, but not looking at me, and was focusing on Bentley. Sorry. Say hi, Bentley. Come here. Say hi to everybody. Come on. Anyways, but she just wasn't even focused on me, and it was just like, okay, this is awkward. Like, I definitely didn't plan to hang out with you so that I could third wheel. But now that we're in this situation, I'm gonna leave. So I ended up leaving early because it's like, okay, I get it, like, you guys are a thing, or I don't even know what you guys are, because according to him, you guys aren't anything. According to you, like, you guys are something. So I don't really know what happens in that weird area where I am not involved in, but it definitely wasn't somewhere where I really wanted to be, especially that night when that wasn't my intention. And then we tried again with me and my boyfriend at the time, and her and my friend who's her ex, and that didn't work out either. And then from us hanging out, I invited her to parties, like stuff that I hosted. I invited her to things that like I didn't host but I got invited to. That didn't work out either. She was a crazy bee, okay? Like, everyone didn't like her. She just, it's really hard to like someone when they make it so easy to not like them, you know what I mean? And the last thing I want to bring up is another time that me and my friends got drunk, and he ended up like spending the night, slept on the couch again. And anyway, so I'm just taking care of everybody. So the next morning when I wake up, no one's awake, but I hear this phone like go off, and I hear this phone blow up and stuff like that. It just like, oh, I wake up, because that's annoying. That's so annoying. Like, I'm the type of person who has to sleep in the dark with silence. Nothing's bothering me. Like, that's just the type of person I am. So I get up because this phone's going off and no one's waking up, and I know it's not my phone, so I go and check it out, and it's someone messaging like this phone. And so it ends up being my friend's phone, and it ends up being the crazy ex who's messaging him. And so I end up reading the messages just because I just already don't like this girl, and I want to know what the fuck is going on in her head. So I read them. I didn't mean to, but I did. Like, I can't help it. I can't. I just gotta do it. So I kind of look at it, and come to find out, so I guess she found out through her friend who drove by my house that he was spending the night over there. Her friend. Yeah, I don't know any of her friends. We don't know anybody, like, of her side, because she got no friends. Because if you ask any of her friends, her ex-friends, you can see why she doesn't have any friends, okay? Because she's the way that she is, and she doesn't care, you know? Like, props to you. You're staying you no matter what situation that you get put into, no matter what people that life throws at you. Like, good job. But, you know, when you say that somebody who, I know it was you, drove up to my house just to check on me and figured out that he, you know, your ex or whatever is staying at my house. Like, whoa, like that's like a lot. That's like, you know, you're stalking me, and I don't even know. I have no idea. But I'm just like, okay, so you drove to my house to check on me and you ended up finding out that he's staying over. Like, I don't know where that makes sense. But anyways, so I woke up and I was just like, can you please tell this bee to get out of my life? Like, I do not want her around. I do not want her to be near my house. I don't want her to do crazy stuff, because she's the type of person who will literally like egg your house, egg your car, will key your car, will do anything just to get back at you. Like, that's just the type of person that she is, because she's psycho. Yeah, I really don't want to deal with that. And I don't think it's any of my business, but now that someone's coming to my house, it's a little of my business. I don't like that shit. So I tell him like, hey, can you get this girl to leave or whatever? And he's just like talking to her on the phone and like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? Like, blah, blah, you're making people uncomfortable. And I'm just like, can you please just tell her like to leave me the F alone, and to just, you know, like, just, I had so many things to say, and I really don't want to repeat any of the things I said because they're kind of mean, and I'm trying not to cuss on this. You know, it's really hard, but I was so pissed, you guys. I was so pissed because it's like, whoa, like you're like overstepping boundaries, and like you don't know what I've been through, and having someone like check up on me and like stalk me at my house, like that's like PTSD. That's something that I've gone through before. I really was so upset, and like he wouldn't really say what I was trying to say. So I ended up getting her phone number. The same way I found the messages, without him knowing. I ended up calling her and just telling her straight up, like, hey, if I figure out that you're literally sneaking around my house trying to figure out what I'm up to and who's here or whatever, like, I will literally call the cops. And the next time you have a problem, knock on the freaking door. Knock on the freaking door so I can talk to you, so I can see you face to face, because you have so much to say over message, but I haven't heard anything face to face. And every single time I go up to you face to face to try and confront something, all of a sudden you didn't say any of that. All of a sudden your intention was so pure and so like fairy tales and rainbows, and you didn't mean to hurt my feelings, but you're talking trash. You talk trash. Even I hear it when like you don't even know I'm hearing it. Like when you don't know I'm sitting right next to him and you're talking trash about me, it's like, that's literally the true you and how you truly feel, because you don't know I'm here, so you're not covering or filtering anything that you mean. When I hear that, and then when I see that like on message, it's just like, yo, like there's nothing I can do. I've tried to be friends with you. I've tried to talk to you face to face. I've tried to confront you through messages. Oh, and she does this crazy thing where it's like, she doesn't follow me on Instagram, but she would like look at all my stories just to see what I'm doing. And it's just like, all the time. It didn't make any sense. Like I would post all the time on Instagram, so I would literally post consecutively like every single day, and she didn't follow me, but she would watch every single one of them, like every single day. Like she never missed one of my stories. And so that's just so freaking weird, because you have to literally like look up my name and like go to my like profile to see my story if you don't follow me, because it doesn't show up on your feed. And so I ended up messaging her, and I was like, if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, you might as well follow me. And she just got so mad. She's just like, I don't know what you're talking about, blah blah. And I'm just like, you're watching all my stories, like what are you looking for? I don't know, it's just so stalkery. It's just too much. But does anyone else go through that? You know what, next time I'm gonna just call the cops and have them deal with it, because none of my business, right? But anyways, if you guys have been through any of that stuff, like please let me know. Like let me know in the comments down below, or message me on Instagram, because I love hearing all the tea, I love hearing all the drama, and I love seeing how you guys figured it out. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I'll see you guys super soon.